Themes. As it was explained before, Lighttouch frontend is managed in the form of themes. Here we're going to explore everything regarding the themes. How to create a theme. In order to create a theme, we must create a folder with the name of the theme in the themes folder. Inside it, it's obligatory for the theme to have an info.yaml file. In this file, the theme must define its name and the parents that it has, and if it has any parents. It is done this way because Lighttouch will call only one theme to render the templates, and if it doesn't find a file in the current theme, it will look for it in the theme parents. So different views and even components can be defined inside a theme. Here we can see an example of how themes can be used with Lighttouch. We have the layout theme, and in its info.yaml we can see it only has a name. And if we go to the layout.html, we can see it has basic HTML and various blocks. This is the use of the Terra syntax to define sections of the HTML. This theme is done for it to work as a reusable component. This way, other themes can inherit from it and use it as a scaffold of the HTML. We can see that being done here in the main theme. The info.yaml of main theme has the name of and also a parent theme. In this case, the parent theme is layout theme. Since this is the main theme of the project, this will allow Lighttouch to access files of layout theme and main theme and use those files. Here in the main theme, we're going to see the inheritance capabilities of themes and how to use them. The first example is the index.html. Here we have several things going on. At the beginning of the file, index.html is inheriting from layout themes. In order to inherit from a file, we must call the path to the file. But because layout is defined in a parent theme, we must add a circumflex accent before the path in order for Lighttouch to understand that it's looking for this file in one of the parent themes of the current theme. Once that is done, we continue in the file, and now we have a block named content, and the content is calling super as a variable. Now, to understand what's going on in this section, we're going back to the layout.html. Here we see a lot of blocks, and we can see the block content, and they are defined this way for a reason. To specify the order of each section of the page, we have a block for header, for content, for footer, and for JavaScript here on alone in the body. For example, with this, we can make sure that when the file inherits from this file, everything that we place inside the JavaScript block will always be at the bottom of the file, no matter where we place this block. For example, in the index.html, we have an empty JavaScript block, but if we add code and move the block to be above the other blocks for any reason, even though it is above the content block, because the file is inheriting from layout theme, from the layout file, when Lighttouch renders the HTML, the contents of the JavaScript block will still be added at the bottom of the file. Now that we understand the use of block, there's still the use of super. This is like in object-oriented programming, that when we inherit a file and a function, we can call the super function. In this case, we're going to show an example in post.html to show how this works. This file inherits from a file in the same theme. In the folder post, the file format.html. Now in format.html, we can see it also inherits from layout and has a block content with a little title inside of it. Because this file has a block content with HTML inside of it, when post.html inherits from it, if we only inherit from the parent file, we will be overriding the contents of this block. Because of this, we call super. And when we call the variable super, it will render the contents of this block that were defined in the parent file. This way, we can take advantage of rendering, and because it is in the form of a variable, we can choose if we want the parent content to be below, inside, or above the content that we're declaring in this children theme, this children file. This gives a lot of flexibility when building a theme and allows for great reusability of the HTML. Now that we have seen how to add reusability for the HTML, we're going to show how to add reusability to the styles and classes of the HTML. Lighttouch comes with a style syntax with underscore style to be more specific. This allows for the HTML files to be reduced of the several classes that could be added to them. The use of this is in the following way. First, at the same level of the file to which we're going to use the style syntax, we need to create a folder with the name underscore style. Inside this folder, we're going to create another folder with the same name of the file that we want to use the style syntax with. Now, here in the base theme, we can see an example of how this is implemented. We go to the folder underscore style, and then we go to the folder index.html. And now in this folder we have two txt files. One of these files has name div site content, and inside of it we have a list of elements. These elements are CSS classes, and if we go to the index.html, we can see a div tag that has the same attribute site content. When Lighttouch renders it, we'll add all the elements inside the div site content.txt as classes to this element here. It will do it at the end of the tag, so you can add any other attributes to it without worrying about them being overwritten. It is also important to know that the beginning of the tag must be exact to the name of the style file for it to work. The use of the style files can be highly beneficial to reduce the size of the HTML when coding, increasing greatly the readability of the code. Also, there are many things that can be achieved in the templates. The template engine that is used is Terra, and with it we can do things like declaring variables, iterating over arrays, and dictionarying, among other things. If you wish to explore deeper into the documentation of Terra, you can check the official documentation here at terra.netlify.com.